Greetings everyone, I'm Record the Second, and welcome back to the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 retrospective. So I teased you a little bit in the last episode about a couple things, so I'm going to explain them in this episode, so don't worry. Let's first load into night 3. First, I wanna show you something interesting. This is the first thing I want to do, loading into this night. By the way, Shadow Cupcake, click on it and it'll disappear. But anyways, we can now check which child we freed in BB's air adventure before we move on to the next minigame in this night. So that's the main point of this minigame, obviously, other than getting the quote-unquote good ending, right? We can see that the minigame freed Gabriel. I don't know why Balloon Boy was the representative in the game that freed Gabriel, but there he is. So this probably isn't applying the order of which the children got killed, because we know that Susie should have been first because of her line in Ultimate Custom Night. I was the first, I've seen everything, which we don't know exactly what that means. She's the first victim in all of the franchise. It could be the animatronic being the first character because of Secret of the Mimic. It could also mean that Susie was the first MCI victim, but that's besides the point. So yeah, now we know BB's air adventure not saved but helped Gabriel move on in some way, or at least brought him here for everyone to move on in Happiest Day, which obviously is more complicated because of Pizza Sim and the Molten MCI, which is a complicated topic. I'll get to that eventually later, but that's what I'm going to tell you for now. So yeah, we're going to use this minigame to track which minigame freed which child, which I think is a really interesting subject. But next, let's go on to the next minigame and see what that one is. So the next minigame is about these cupcakes. This is Cam 2. We click on the first Shadow Cupcake, and this Shadow Cupcake, which I'm not sure if I mentioned before. It's all interesting, by the way. It's only Cam 2, 3, 4, and also Cam 7 for some reason. No, wait, Cam 6. Right. So 2, 3, 4, and 6. Weird, but whatever. And once we click on the next one, we get to Chica's party. Now, what does this reference? The fact that Chica had her own location in Chica's Party World, which actually got name dropped in sister location. So once again, we have here a fake objective that we need to quote-unquote need to complete, right? But if you play these, you already know this is pointless. So these are the crying children, the quote-unquote crying children, but they're not dead crying children, they're just annoying. You need to keep them cake, which also it's funny because of the pixelated nature of these minigames. People thought that it's not a tray that Chica is screaming, but like a shotgun, so it's kind of funny. And also, this is Toy Chica, right? So this is Chica's party, but this is specifically Toy Chica. This is her design from FNaF 2. I don't think this has any significance, but I think it's kind of interesting. One more thing I wanted to mention in the last video, but I think I forgot because, like I said, my thoughts keep going different directions because I'm covering so much information, is that we're playing as all the Phantom animatronics in these minigames. Phantom BB, Phantom Mangle, and Phantom Chica are all Phantoms in this game. Now, there is no minigame where we play as Foxy for some reason. There is a minigame where we play as Shadow Bonnie, which I think is kind of a mirror to Springtrap because there's no Phantom Bonnie animatronic, it's just Springtrap. We also play as Golden Freddy, which is a parallel to Phantom Freddy, and that's very interesting actually. I actually find that extremely interesting because of information I'll mention later. There's a lot to talk about in this game. But as you can see, we got a fake exit, which we do not want to go towards. What we want to do is we're going to go here, obviously, and save the crying child. And now let's check which child that was in the puppet minigame. That is actually Susie. So that makes sense as a connection. I don't know why BB freed Gabriel, Chica freed Susie. That's a better connection, but whatever. So let's go all the way back, and there's one last thing I want to show you in this minigame today, and I guarantee you might have seen this, but most of you have not seen this before. And this is one of my favorite Easter eggs in this franchise, so lock in, guys. This is gonna be really, really good, I think. There's an interesting Easter egg in this minigame, and one that I adore and honestly find extremely creepy. Can we jump over? Oh yeah, this reminds me of Sister Location. Ooh, what was that? That was weird. Did you see that? Huh. Yeah, it's a slight platforming bug. Huh. That's funny. But anyways, that's not that interesting. This is not what I wanted to show you. What I wanted to show you is here. And one more thing I forgot to show in the last video. If you come back to these minigames, the child is gone. So that's another fun Easter egg that I forgot to show last time. But here you go. This is the same in all minigames, so it's not like we have to revisit every single minigame to check. The child has moved from this minigame into the Happiest Day minigame. And we also find out their identity as well. What happens if you go here? You enter this extremely bizarre scene, which honestly creeps me the fuck out. There's this cupcake, this Shadow Cupcake that is following us, and I just really creeped out by this. Now, there could be a couple parallels drawn. For example, this is similar to the way the puppet follows you in the final FNaF 2 cutscene. And also there's an exit because there's no way out of here, so if you want to quit the game, this is the only way. So yeah, this is just there in case you fall down on accident. But there are 4 more cupcakes over here. What does this make you think of? This is very similar to the ending minigame with, well, before he becomes Springtrap, William Afton being cornered by the 5 kids, 4 of which are standing still, and the fifth one following him. I mean, this is probably what it is. Yeah, cue all the Toy Chica is William Afton jokes as well, because I'm playing as Toy Chica and I'm representing William Afton in this minigame. What a funny connection to make. It's a dog meme in case you guys don't know what I'm talking about. It's an out of context clip that's really funny, but in the video he's comparing Toy Chica from the high school days cutscenes in Ultimate Custom Night to William Afton, because there's a very clear parallel, which is probably intentional, of William Afton having victims and Toy Chica having victims as well in those cutscenes. So I think this is just kind of funny, but also really creepy. I find this actually quite a creepy Easter egg. Even though it's a very simple thing to code, it's not really that sophisticated. I don't know, this is just kind of creepy to me. But that's all there is to this minigame as far as I know. Let's just go play the actual night for once. Yeah, I know, guys, this is my favorite part of the game, so I really like spending time on the minigames way more than the actual night themselves. So I'm pretty sure a couple new phantoms show up on this night. I think Phantom Freddy's probably here, and Phantom Chica is probably also going to be here. I'm also sure Phantom Angle is one of the earlier characters that shows up. So I'm still going to be using Cam 8, because the Phantom Marionette is not here yet. What can I say? This is just really boring. Yeah, over time, the ventilation error will just happen. I was teasing you in the last episode about what it does. But what it does is it doesn't make phantomatronics spawn, doesn't cause you to hallucinate anything specific, it doesn't even affect the ventilation blocks. What it actually does, it makes you see multiple spring traps. You will see one of the spring traps, that is the real one, but you also will see multiple other spring traps. It's such a poorly telegraphed mechanic, it looks like a bug. This game is not good at telegraphing mechanics to you whatsoever. Like, this could have been a good mechanic if it was clear that multiple spring traps is intentional and not just a bug, but it looks like a bug. How are you supposed to know? There's no hint towards this, or at least a reasonable hint. When Fondue tells you about the ventilation error, he says, keep that air blowing, bro. You're gonna see some crazy stuff. And obviously what you're gonna think of is, you know, the phantom animatronics. So people are so gaslit by Fondue and his explanations that they think the phantoms are caused by the ventilation error, when it's the other way around. Phantoms, or at least most of them, cause the ventilation error. There he is on cam 5, nothing to worry about, unless he got closer. Okay, no, he didn't get closer. Or did he? He must be, because I still hear the ambience. Okay, so he made it to cam 2, or yeah, he made it to the window, which is fine. We can just call him back here. Oftentimes he just goes back to cam 5 voluntarily. Now he cannot go to the window while we do not have the tablet up, obviously. But the longer we idle, the more likely we are to get like a ventilation error, and then the lights come on. And that's when you risk actually getting the blacking out, which allows Springtrap to advance stages while you're looking at him. So that's the real danger. But yeah, he's on cam 5 or in the adjacent area. He might be on cam 4, doesn't really matter. And now he's gone because the sound stopped. That's how I know he's gone. He's probably in the 6-7 lane, and there goes Phantom Freddy. So he's on this night. As you can see, Springtrap is right here, and now we do not know where Springtrap is because Phantom Freddy is playing the exact same audio. It's overlapping Springtrap, so I don't know where Springtrap is unless I check, and that's what makes Phantom Freddy a problem. And as you can see, the second Phantom Freddy despawned, the sound stopped playing. So let me just double check. Yeah, we already have the vent, so this is fine. And now we will know if Springtrap comes to cam 5 or not. And you can just track him by the sounds pretty easily. So you will know, okay, he's either here or he's either in a different place right now. So you always know where he is. And he's on cam 5 again, which means we gotta block that ventilation. Let's call him back. Let's block this vent again because he's closer to this vent now. This is really easy once you understand how it works, but there's a lot of randomness involved. On the first 3 nights, this will be extremely boring, and on night 4, it suddenly becomes extremely tedious and difficult. And this is something I forgot to mention last time, but sometimes Springtrap will just ignore the audio alert. There's a 1 in 7 chance for some fucking reason that he just will not listen. And again, feels like a bug. Feels wrong. Yep, there he is. Okay, so he's slow enough on this night for me to catch him like this, but in the later nights, this is going to become an issue. Oh, so you gotta make sure you're paying attention to the static, because sometimes there's like a light static, which makes you feel like, okay, he moved. But no, when he moves, it's a really long static. Like, you can really tell. So you gotta pay close attention. You can track, as I said, Springtrap, even without the camera. You don't really need to see to be able to hear the ambience or to see the static on the camera. So I'm not too concerned about fixing the video error, but as you can see, I have a different priority. Okay, so it's Phantom Freddy, so I do not know if Springtrap moved. He's probably still there because I don't think I heard any sounds of him moving. So yeah, the update made the game even easier than it already was. This is just a thing that happens. Ventilation error just kicks in, and I know I should have checked where he is first, but I just had the gut feeling, and you know what? I was right. He was on cam 5, and now he's not anymore because the sound stopped. It's really easy to play this game once you actually get it. It's really bad at communicating these mechanics. I only learned over time. I learned in spite of the game, not because of the game. Let me just put it that way. It's not a good game. Gameplay wise, it's not scary. FNaF 3 is a very big disappointment in my opinion. It did give us Springtrap, and it did give us the minigames, which are really cool, and some really good lore. This game is probably the best story out of the first 3. But yeah, the horror gameplay elements of this game are just supremely disappointing. But here, I'm actually just going to stay here and do nothing. What's the worst that can happen? I don't need to see the hint. I already know the hint is 395248, so it's nothing that interesting going on. And yeah, I'm just gonna stay here. Yeah, I guess I'll go watch Instagram Reels or something, or I don't know, FNaF Theory maybe. Alright, what we got here? Hello internet, welcome to Game Theory. Oh, did something happen? I was just watching YouTube. So yeah, that's what I wanted to show you intentionally before I got by accident. Anyways, let's just listen.
Hello. There's been a slight change of company policy concerning use of the suit. Don't. After learning of an unfortunate incident at the sister location involving multiple and simultaneous spring lock failures, the company has deemed the suit temporarily unfit for employees. Safety is top priority at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, which is why the classic suits are being retired to an appropriate location while being looked at by our technicians. Until replacements arrive, you will be expected to wear the temporary costumes provided to you. Keep in mind that they were found on very short notice, so questions about appropriateness/relevance should be deflected. I repeat, the classic suits are not to be touched, activated, or worn. That being said, we are free of liability. Do as you wish. As always, remember to smile. You are the face of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
Alright, so yeah, I wasn't going to play this night. I just wanted to listen to the phone guy. So yeah, the hint is 395248. And I also showed you how to deal with Phantom Foxy. This actually took a lot of getting used to. Like, this was not easy. When I was first playing this game, or even like when I was coming back to this game, this took me a long time to get used to. But now I actually know how to deal with Phantom Foxy. It's not really a big deal. Those are the 9 tiles that we need to press. So let's do 395248. And this is only available on this night. And this brings me to one of my favorite minigames in this franchise, Stage 01. So here we have Spring Bonnie with weirdly yellow pupils, actually. I don't know why, but we also have Fredbear, and he has a brown hat and a black bow tie. I don't think we need to be hung up on the colors that much because, like I said earlier, Balloon Boy sprite didn't really look like Balloon Boy exactly, so I don't think this is that big of a deal. But this minigame is actually a bit difficult to figure out. Honestly, it's not that bad. You just gotta keep trying. You just gotta make sure you don't make a mistake. You do this, and then you fall for a bit, I'm pretty sure. I don't think there's anything you can do here. Either go right, which could be a mistake, or you just go down. I'm pretty sure this is fine, so this is not that hard to figure out. I don't remember exactly what to do. I'm just gonna figure it out. It's really not a big problem. And I'm pretty sure you need to go left now, because if you go up, you're just going to fall to the exit door, which is obviously not something you want. But pay attention to something. Look at these children, right? What happens when I jump up? That child is missing. Why? I don't know. This is such a weird detail in this minigame. Why did Scott do this? You gotta come back a little bit, and you gotta go up here, I'm pretty sure, right? Yup, and then you gotta keep going up, but on the other edge. I think you gotta go here. Yep, there we go. So, there's nothing else. There's one more platform above me. I'm going to try to get on here, but this is honestly not that sophisticated. Okay, now you go to this edge, and you can tell I reached the ceiling. There are no more rooms to go up. You just gotta go right in this. Yep, and there you go. There's a child here. Now... Cake? I love these games so much, dude. These minigames are the best part of this fucking game, dude. Not even close. It's just so cute, like, aw. And now, let's go and check. Happiest day. So which child did Fredbear just free? It's Fritz. There was a connection between Chica and Susie. The other ones don't really connect. I'm gonna show you something interesting that I found in this minigame. It's not too interesting, but I think it's kind of cool. Alright, guys, so we're rolling. I made it back to the room. What a cool image, by the way. This is a FNaF screenshot that goes hard. But yeah, the child is missing. So why am I here? So Scott has thought this through. If you made it back to this game to double check for some reason, or beating the night, emulated the minigame, which it doesn't do. Like I explained before, you don't have to win the night, you just have to beat the minigame right, and you get it cleared. And that's exactly why Scott included that there. You can glitch through the wall so that you can go to the exit. I mean, Scott really thought this through, and I think it's pretty cool. He's barely moved so far. But something I wanted to point out is that Phantom Foxy doesn't have his arm when he manifests, and it's right here in the box. But this is the FNaF 2 Withered Foxy arm, not the FNaF 1, which is later in the timeline, regular Foxy arm. Really strange detail. So does this imply that the Withered animatronics were in fact separate, or is it just some spare part? Okay, yeah, I was right. I was checking if there's Phantom Freddy or not. There isn't, at least when I checked. Springtrap went to Cam 8 and then to Cam 5 because there's a gap between 8 and 5, which I forgot to mention in the last episode. And oh, he's really close now. He's in Cam 2. Hello? There he is. Go back. He didn't go back. Well, this is awkward. Do you want something? Or, No, we gotta do it because Phantom Freddy is there. This is night 4. This is not even that bad at all. Okay, he did go back. Alright, sometimes he will ignore the lure, or he will be too fast in front of the window, and you'll have no time to lure him out. So yeah, it's a lot of randomness, and once he's past the window, it's a ticking clock. Like, he cannot do much while he's at that point. He's still in Cam 5 because the audio is still playing. As the nights go on, it becomes, there he is again at Cam 2. Go back to Cam 5. Yes, he did. You can tell because the sound got quieter. But as the game goes on, the ventilation error is more common. Video error is also easier to get. There he is, so this is fine. We don't need to worry about this. You can tell when he's climbing into the vent, there's a sound. You can tell when he makes it through the vent. You can tell when he's climbing out of a vent because it's locked. When you do the ventilation lock, it's going to keep sealing. When you click off in any way, it's going to stop sealing, so you don't need to worry about that. Oh my god, bro, just come back. Another problem with the ventilation error is sometimes it takes a bit for the cameras to refresh and stop showing you the duplicate spring traps. I think that's what happened there because he was at Cam 5, but it showed him in Cam 7. It took a while for that hallucination to disappear. So yeah, the ventilation error is a terrible mechanic in this game. It's so bad. It's just such a bad mechanic. It's a complete failure in like game design, telegraphing. No. Okay, good. Yeah, so I canceled the resealing. I was going to seal a different vent, and you can only have one sealed at a time, obviously. And I canceled it by clicking off. And Phantom Freddy is here, so I have to have something up, or he's going to jump scare me. What you don't see in this, and you don't even see it in the rest of the game, really, but Phantom Freddy is missing one leg, which is weird because it's similar to the Foxy thing, where Foxy was missing one arm. And as you can see, he ignored the lure here, and he must be in Cam 4 or 3. But I'm gonna seal this just in case. So when he's in Cam 5, he can vent straight to in front of your window, which is bad. But it's not the worst thing that can happen. So he's in Cam 5 now. He's still in Cam 5, judging by the sound. Let's just seal that vent. Let's lead him to Cam 6. Yeah, he's there. He ignored the lure again? Dude, this is bad luck, man. He did it again? Oh my god, that is crazy unluck. With every night, you get less audio lures that you can do without this giving you an audio error. I don't even know where he is at this point. He's like Cam 4 or 3. Ah, fuck. He got me. One more reason why Phantom animatronics are really bad is because they teleport Springtrap closer to you. I get it that that makes the game more difficult and whatever. It doesn't make sense because you're supposed to keep track of Springtrap and then he fucking teleports. This game is just so badly designed in terms of gameplay. It's horrible at telegraphing to you what's going on. You have here Shadow Bonnie. I didn't really talk about this before, but what is happening right now? Who is luring me? Is this Afton dressed as Freddy? Why is he purple? Is that because he's in shadow? Probably because that's why purple guy is purple in general, because this is supposed to be in the dark. Yeah, you can't really see him. There are multiple instances in FNaF media, mainly books, where a Shadow Freddy animatronic lures someone, especially in the twisted ones. That's a big plot point. Let me see if I can go. Can I make it? Can I make it? Oh my god, I made it. Let's fucking go. Oh, I love breaking this minigame. It's really funny. This is mentioned by Henry, and you can see Bonnie right here. It's really hard to see. You get a double click. His sprite is weirdly glitched. When you use him, he can kind of levitate. He doesn't just jump and land. While you have it pressed, he stays in the air. You can teleport to a different minigame. I don't think there's anything to find here. I've been trying to go through walls in some places. I don't think I found anything yet. But the way you switch between the minigames is you press S. And if you hold S, you'll just keep switching. Oops, I did it in the wrong place. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. There's a bunch more information. I think I showed you some really cool Easter eggs. So if you guys thought it was cool, I don't know, leave a comment or like or hype. Can you hype my videos? I don't know. Anyway, stay tuned for the next episode when you will find out the definitive answer to the question that I asked in the previous video. Is it possible to get the quote-unquote good ending before the bad ending? I'm going to show you in the next episode. Don't forget to smash subscribe, ring my bell, and as always, stay